Ooh, new intro by Manny. Oh man, we gotta run that back. We gotta run that back, bro. We gotta run that back. Man, so good. So good. It gets better in the second time around.
I was gonna say it hits it. It's got a zing to it that second time around. I'm probably a little biased, but Manny, your best work yet. Well done, brother. Well done.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for all your hard work, everything you do for the show, you do for all of us. You're the best. Y'all make sure you go follow Manny on Instagram at Island Boy Manuel and on YouTube at Nerdtastic News. He's taking a little content break right now, but he's making some of the best, most in-depth.
When you're putting quality like that, you got to take your time. Can't burn yourself.
The things he's finding to say about these comic books we're reading week to week is incredible. So y'all make sure you check out Manny. Everybody's executive producer. We love you, Manny. Appreciate you. Thank you for the great intro, bro. Station Link, my brother, man. Episode 40 here, May 15th, man. God, school's out in a week and a half. You got to say a prayer for me, man. How we doing tonight, bro? How we doing tonight?
Well, it's a little bittersweet. We'll get into it, but X-Men 97 had its season finale. I'm happy about that because it's been every episode is just leveled up. They've exceeded expectations. But at the same time, I'm pissed off because it's the season finale.
Yeah.
I gotta wait for about. I'm being optimistic. I'm hoping because of the popularity and because Disney's got the money to throw at an animating team, we can see a turnaround a year and a half. The way stuff's been looking with animation's been 2 years in between seasons nowadays.
Yeah,
so I'm not too excited.
It was quite the wait for Invincible, though it was well worth it for season 2. But yeah, quite the wait. So, but yeah, man, an amazing finale. Nonetheless, also it's been a great day. We got the Doom one shot. Y'all make sure you go out and support that book by Sanford Green and Jonathan Hickman. Amazing work. Great Doom tale. Love that book. I did read it. Yeah. I read it this morning, man. So this morning's agenda before work was to watch the finale and read the Doom one shot and try to get that in. So yeah, I read it electronically. We'll put it that way. But I have all 4 copies on the way from. So the homies in the Doom, we have a Doom collectors, a Doom fam chat. We got members from all over the globe, Scotland, England, bunch of us just Doom heads. And they had the group coupon code thing for big time collectibles. I normally don't do that type of stuff, but so I jumped in and got all 4 because I wanted that Maria Wolf cover, man.
There's a Maria Wolf cover?
Yeah, there's a Maria Wolf cover. It's pretty pricey, but yeah, I had to get on that. So I got all 4 covers. We got some great covers. We got a George Perez Galactus, Addy Granoff, but a great cover, and then they got the Hildebrandt. I don't have the Hildebrandt one, but it's a reprint of the Marvel Masterpieces card. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
No, you're speaking.
So much hype for that though, and it really came through. It delivered. I was so happy.
So what? Without getting too much into it, is it just a random Doom tale, or is it kind of
yeah? So Sanford Green, the artist, who who's worked with David Walker on Bitter Root, I guess would be his most like award-winning known thing. Has had this kind of like tail in his head. He partnered up with Jonathan Hickman to kind of get it all ironed out. So Hickman assisted him on the writing duties. So he co-wrote it, but he also obviously illustrated the whole thing. The art is incredible, stuff to the gills, page to page, with like so much incredible. There's like all these epic compositions. He's got these these confrontations with Galactus where it has like all these. It's like these George Perez type full-blown character layouts. You got like nearly every member of the Marvel universe rushing in to fight Galactus, like and then you got just like these epic one-on-one scenes with Doom versus Galactus. So it's you can tell there's a lot of TLC behind it from Sanford Green, and I think it really delivered, dude, on all levels. It's just a great like one shot. I think he had said in an interview or something like that that had ties to the Marvel universe. I didn't really pick up on that, but maybe I missed out on something. But at the same time, regardless, I thought it was a wonderful story. And just like it's great when a book you have such high hopes for really checks all those boxes, in that book. So,
I saw some of the guys in the back chats were saying it was fun earlier, and I was like, that's I can take that. Like I don't comic books don't need to be life changing sometimes. If I can just have a good time and see some dope shit, like have a cool idea pop in my head, that's all I ask for,
And it spins around the relationship between Doom and Valeria, which to me is like one of my favorite Doom relationships, if not my favorite. Yeah, it's just like the bond between those two is so great, and how she calls him uncle the whole story, and there's that type of vibe.
I'm not the biggest F4 fan, but from what I've, I'm not to say I don't like them, but I've just never read them deeply like that. But from what I've gathered, from what I have read, she's more like Doom's daughter than Reed and Sue. Yeah, that's Did he raise her at one point?
I mean, more or less. Yeah, more or less. Yes, for sure. He's definitely like raised her in a lot of ways like that. Reed hasn't or can't, like, absolutely. And obviously like the part she had to play in Secret Wars and like the lead up to all that, she was instrumental like in his relationship with the Molecule Man. So yeah, dude, she's always seeing the bigger picture. He taught her that too, like, and that's part of this book. But yeah, shout out to all parties involved. That was a great issue.
Sorry, I'm getting off track, but she's just a regular human, right? She's just got no superpowers.
See, that's a good question, Link. I was just thinking about. I mean, she's obviously super smart, but she really does. She doesn't demonstrate any powers in this book, but other than her extreme intelligence and again her ability to see the big picture, like her uncle taught her. But I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. We should figure that out. I don't know. Anybody in the chat knows what I should know what Valeria's power set is as well. Anybody knows what Valeria Richards' power set is? Let us know. Let me say what up to the chat right now. We got a bunch of beautiful faces up in here before we get into our X-Men 97 stuff. Guys, yeah, apologies for some spoilers. We got to talk about it though, right? John's in the house. John, Station Brother. Speaking of X-Men 97, the man who's been making the best recap shorts week to week. Check out John. Sal in the place to be. Sal, Station. Station Bro. Vern's going to come back. He hasn't seen the... Oh, yeah, and we're going to have Vern back either next week or the week after. I think next week to... he did our little like halfway point X-Men 97 roundup. We're going to have him back to do the whole thing. We're going to talk about our favorite episodes, all the good stuff. Nick, Station Bro, Rogue in the place to be. Rogue, so many great people. Thank y'all for coming out. Bro. Ninja Station. Congrats on like all y'all success over there on the Melon and Meninga channel. They've been killing it lately. Y'all make sure you check them out. Yeah, follow them, turn on the notifications if you haven't already. All right. Yeah, Nick said it was just such a great issue. Said it was a one shot. Agreed. I could have used a lot more of that. Global Doom Heads. Hell yeah, Sal, we're out here. It's a beautiful thing. Um, I think she just has an intelligence level that's even higher than Reed's, but otherwise human. Yeah, I mean, hell yeah. Oh, we got James Phelps. James, what up, bro? Station, man.
Oh, brother.
Hell yeah. James, we're just talking about the Doom one shot and how awesome it is. So check that out if you haven't already. All right, so let's get into it, man. The finale. Completely stuck the landing. Let me just get into my general thoughts, Link, and then I'll send it to you. Just completely stuck the landing. Everything I wanted it to be. You know, always the story always elevates itself in ways that I'm really not ready for or prepared for. It's just the show is so X-Men, and I love the way it's reinvigorated the franchise and Marvel, and I love the animations leading the way for Marvel for once. That's just a beautiful thing. So man, this series has been such a blast week to week. Like you said, Link, on your Instagram, man, these past 2 months have just been so. Wednesday mornings have just been. It went from I was catching this like, you know, oh, I'll catch it on Thursday, to no, I'm gonna wake up early if I need to. I'm gonna wake up as early as I need to make sure I can watch this before work, because I don't want to like miss out on what's going on. You know what I mean? So like when you're checking for a show like that, it's a hit. And just like all of us, across I think at least 2 generations who grew up with this show, one way or the other, this has just been such a great nostalgic hit in the veins. And like I just love where the future's headed. This thing has I know it's going to be a long time, but this thing has crazy rewatchability, thank God. So there's going to be a lot to pick apart, a lot of Easter eggs, a lot of things to go back and enjoy and view again. But what a great finale. Before we get into the specifics, but so many characters had a glow up that I gained a whole new level of respect and admiration for Rogue throughout this series, especially in the fight with Bastion here at the end. But yeah, man, this was, I don't know, this was just like I think it highlighted certain individual members really well, and then the team, and of course we got our Professor X versus Magneto nonsense. I have no time for Charles Xavier these days, but regardless, dude, it's just it was such a joy, experiencing this morning, and getting through these, and then the end, the after credit scenes, like the possibilities moving forward. Anyway, Link, I'll throw it to you, bro. Just in general, I know like I quoted you already. I know you've really enjoyed this past.
I was gonna. You said it best, man. Like, no, you've articulated it pretty much for how I feel. Like, it's just exceeded expectations. It's just been a joy. It's like X-Men hasn't been bad these last few years in comics, but it's like it gets to a point where you're like, is it just nostalgia, that makes me love this shit? And then you get something like X-Men 97, and it's like, nope, this IP is money. You just need people who care about the shit, who have great ideas, passion for the characters and the stories. Man, it's like, I remember we were talking about this a few episodes in when it began. Like, it's like they were doing so many plot threads and wrapping it. It seemed like they were wrapping it up so quickly. But it's just like to see everything coalesce at the end, it's like I got to give it up to them, because it's like they clearly have their finger on the pulse. They know how to, even though it's brief, it doesn't feel like a shortcoming in a way. It doesn't feel like, oh, why would you even do that if you're not going to go all the way? Like, even though it's brief, they do it just enough. You're like, that was cool. I wish they would have stayed there a little bit longer, but what they did was cool, like, and they've done that every episode. Like, every episode has leveled up and gone past the next episode. And like, they could not do another season. I'm glad they are. I'm sure they are, but they could not do another season. This could be just a standalone thing. And like you said, it's got so much rewatchability, and it would stand on its own just because of how great this shit has been. It's been a joy as an X-Men fan, man. I did not see this coming. I knew I was gonna enjoy it just based off nostalgia and my love for X-Men, but they went out of their way to really like knock this out the park, and I just
Yeah.
Hopefully Marvel don't fuck it up, Marvel.
No, pay, like you said, pay Bo DeMeo, man. Like, pay that man his money, because he, like, as the head writer and the creative director of this thing, he's done a masterful job
Proven
at, like,
himself.
not only the comic books, but like weaving together like the old X-Men animated stuff into it, like the whole 9 yards. It's been
You can tell
incredible.
he's a fan. Like it, man.
Absolutely, like a diehard, like the kind you want running the ship. We got Christina Payne in the house. Christina Station, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you for coming through. Our bro Warren Station, bro. Good to see you, Warren. Hell yeah, and Chet. That sounds like weird Stephens too. So he said, "Stop sweating my mutants, kid and greatest X-Men anything I've ever had the pleasure of seeing." Amen, brother. Yeah, man. We are doing spoilers with this finale, chat. So, excuse me, if you haven't seen the finale, y'all log off for a minute. Well, we'll get through it. But yeah. So, what did you think about the whole push and pull here with Xavier and Magneto throughout the thing? I guess we got you were talking about last time how we got kind of like a half a mind wipe when it came to Fatal Attractions, and like what happened in the last episode. Xavier attempted to do it, but like he really didn't finish the job, and Magneto kind of came back to life and was able to hurt Wolverine. By the way, speaking of, just because I'm on the topic, what happened with Wolvie? Is he Bone Claw? Like, did we get confirmation?
They did not answer that. No, because I was waiting. He didn't. No, he was incapacitated the whole episode. They,
right.
He had brief moments where he said Gene, but he didn't. That was it. He didn't they didn't show him like clench his fist or no claws kind of protruding from the skin. You know what? I don't, just because like we said earlier, how they'll touch on something but not do a disservice. I don't think they're gonna do that moment, that iconic moment, like one of the seminal 90s comic moments, and not go follow through with it. In fact, it would be, the X-Men always work best when they have their backs against the wall. That would be even better, if say they think Professor X, all these other we won't get there, but it would just make it harder knowing Wolverine is not as indestructible as he previously was, knowing where the X-Men are left at by the end of the episode.
Agreed.
So, but I know they didn't confirm it, but I'm I feel like we both know, we know that Bone Claw will be, bro.
Let's go. John says Xavier and Magneto were deep in their feelings. One awkward moment away from a kiss. Absolutely, man. These two
giving me first class vibes, bro.
These two need to have a weekend in Madripoor and just get it over with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let's just get.
It's funny John says this because there was a scene in First Class where it's like,
tension.
There's in First Class when Xavier's he's like talking to Eric about how you use your powers like based off anger. He's like, you can be more powerful and you use like a loving idea, hopeful. And he like pulls that memory of his mom singing him happy birthday, and like he starts to have like that tear down his face. There's some homoerotic vibes there, That's why it reminded me of this reminded me of First Class, because I feel, John, I was like they were just one scene away from just embracing each other, bro. Just love.
Absolutely. Chad says, I saw it, but I got to do something, so I'll return shortly. He's Bone Claw if the adamantium is gone. Didn't confirm. Yeah, it's up and down.
Yeah.
And just says they needed that kiss. Amen. Absolutely. All right. So, yeah, I don't know. It was cool, like the way they went back and forth, and, him using the psychic control to kind of get Magneto to turn the power back on, more or less. That was okay, but like, I don't know, like he was mind wiped, but then he wasn't. Like, where did these memories come to? And just like, dude, I just wanted to slap him when he was like rogue. The way he said rogue, I was like, come on. I just don't. He's been such a powerful character. I just don't like the way they laid him low again. I just felt like, just take him out of the series a little bit. I don't know. I would have liked anything other than like the hard reset. But yeah, speaking of Rogue, dude.
I will.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say real quick to your point to that. We'll get to it at the end, but I think that idea is setting up something that they implement at the very end. I think that's going to play into that future scenario.
Absolutely, yeah. Speaking of Rogue, though, I think the superstar of the issue, dude, her fight with Bastion, the thunderclap to the face was amazing.
When it was Bastion was on, like, what was it? Not the moon, but the part of the asteroid, and like they're about to square off, and her feet just kind of lifted off the ground. You saw that like from the air and shit, and she just dashes at him.
Yeah, she hit that boy so hard she was looking for him. She was like, "Where did he go?" That was crazy. Yeah, that was amazing. And I love like he got up and he was like all messed up and then fixed it. But dude, like, yeah, shout out Ninja. Women, they absolutely did, man.
That's very true.
To me, was the highlight. She was the emotional anchor of episode 5. Her interaction with Cap was one of the "if your hands are tied, you won't be needing this." That was one of the best lines in the whole show. And then like this fight, dude, was like the icing on the cake. Like, so if not for Rogue, yeah, absolutely. Jean, I love when we'll get to it, but Phoenix showed up and that laugh that Storm gave. Dude, that was so good. That was so, to me, the best voice acting has come from Homegirl, who's Storm. Like, I feel like she's done the best job far and away.
She's new, right? She's not the OG.
I'm not sure, bro. I'm not sure. I don't know with enough authority to speak on it. But I thought the episode she did with the Shadow King, and like her kind of finding herself again in her new look, just like the power of her voice in that episode was so great. And, I don't know. Yeah, her losing her power at the beginning and jumping at the thunderclaps, like the journey she's going on. This show is amazing. So many great story or character arcs for all our favorite X-Men, man. For the most part. Yeah, cameos. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, sorry. I'm gonna let you have the floor, but I was gonna say, not only, bro, just the level of fan service and love that not only did they reestablish X-Men, the animated series, they reestablished the Marvel animated universe, early 90s animated universe. Like, we've seen Spider-Man, which they did confirm that it's supposed to be Spider-Man from the 90s series. Cloak and Dagger, fucking Daredevil, like, bro. Like,
so good. No, I love these cameos though. We got Iron Man, we got Cap. There was somebody. I thought I had another slide for the camera. Yeah, I love Black Panther. Like Black Panther and Cap trying to talk down the President Kelly and all that. That scene was dope with the Magneto protocols. There's a scene I saw like later that I didn't realize earlier, but when he opens up the file folder, it's got all the actors who played Magneto under aliases. It's got like Eric Lynch. Yeah.
No.
It's like little details like that just make it so cool. Yeah. It's got like M. Fassbender, but like the Fassbender is blacked out, and then it's got like Ian and like the last name is blacked out. It's like it's so cool. Yeah, just little things like that just make the show, man. Like they know people are gonna like stop every little slide or whatever. This being one, this board that Forge had is got a lot of people wondering, what's it gonna be? What's the team gonna look like moving forward? Who's gonna be in the next season? Who's gonna be the star of the show? I don't know. How about you? Do you have any thoughts on this, Link?
I got so many thoughts. Just based off the board, my man. It says Quicksilver and Wanda are off world. I wonder if they're on what is I'm blanking on his name. What does that high evolutionary call his planet? That's not Wondagore, is it? Or Counter Earth? I know he had something called Counter Earth. I don't know if it's kind of a newer idea. Because Remender had introduced it in like his Uncanny Avengers series, like I think, if that's a newer idea. But they've got ties to high evolutionary, so I think that's what it means by being off world. In terms of the X-Men team, though, I think we got Emma Frost.
We got we got available. It looks like we got Colossus, Dust,
Magic.
Magic, Iceman, Havoc, Exodus,
Kitty.
Kitty and Emma. So that's an
I don't see
intriguing.
Exodus being an X-Men
Yeah.
member. Well, man, you know what I was thinking? With Sinister has been, he's still in the background, but he came into contact with both Magneto and Cable in the series. I was thinking about how cool would it be if like Joseph showed up next season, but he's rocking the Age of Apocalypse Magneto gear. He's already got the long hair, so it would be like a cool visual call. And like, what if Joseph shows up and Nate Gray, X-Men from Age of Apocalypse? Because Sinister's got the DNA of both those guys. He had Magneto held captive. He had Cable held captive for, we don't know. I mean, it was shorter than Magneto. He didn't have him locked up, but we don't know how. He could have just poked him with something and got his DNA. And spoilers, I'm sorry. I have to say this to get to my point. Apocalypse is showing up. We know Sinister and Apocalypse famously clash, bro. Nate, the X-Man, is a key character to taking down Apocalypse for him. So I don't know. My mind's been wandering. The reason I thought of Joseph was because Exodus. I was thinking of like, obviously there's going to be a vacuum of power that people are trying to usurp, based off how things are left off. And why not have it be Sinister create his own Magneto clone, and try to start a mutant cult? Exodus is one of his first acolytes or whatever, or maybe Exodus is already familiar with him, but Exodus has always been very faith based, he's very like a religious zealot almost, so wouldn't it be beyond him to believe the Lord of Mutants has been reborn, master of magnetism, I don't know, that's my mind wanders there, but I think it would be cool to see. They did set up Emma Frost at the very beginning with the whole diamond form. I don't think they're just going to do that for no reason. We're going to be in need of a head mistress or somebody who really cares about the future generation of mutants, and that's Emma's primary goal. We do still have Jubilee and Sunspot, so they could be part of the squad.
True.
I would like to see Havoc, though. I'm not going to hold you up. Just to have a Summers. I mean, I love Havoc, but, he needs to get more respect. But just to have that Summers brother fill in, that's always been kind of central to his character of him trying to live in his brother, outlive his brother's shadow. And what better way than to step up when he's not around? Luckily Forge is still around, so it's like whatever X-Men team they do have, they got a gadget guy, they got a gear guy, so they got an edge, so
true.
Very curious though.
Sal says I was thinking Wanda and Pietro were with the Inhumans. Yeah,
Dark Side of the Moon.
But Counter Earth makes sense. Yeah,
it could be either shit.
My boy Glob Herman survived Genosha, says he. Give him a suit. Amen, bro.
Cheers.
And John says, can't wait for season 2. Let's hope Bo DeMayo gets rehired at some point. Yeah,
man,
amen,
I'll say this. I said it before, but Marvel, do not repeat your James Gunn situation where you guys know you should have, they haven't even been clear why they let Bo DeMayo go. But it's just like what James Gunn got let go for was so borderline asinine, you know what I'm saying? Like it was so like removed from what it had no connection to his performance or him as a director for Disney and Marvel, like, and they lost him. Now imagine had they not done that, James Gunn might still be working for them, but now he's like their competition. Some people are a little up in the air about it, but I think James Gunn is going to bring the heat, to be honest. He understands that.
He's a problem. Go ahead and sleep on that boy if you want to. But yeah.
Yep. Bo DeMayo, watch. 2 years from now, he's going to be doing a fucking Justice League Unlimited spinoff or something along those lines, just because he did it. Like his work speaks for itself. If Marvel's not going to hire him, like the love he put into this, he's not going to have a problem finding work at different places. Someone would be glad to hire him up as a writer. Yeah. So don't fuck this up, Marvel.
Yeah, I hope. I don't know. Hope we get some positive resolution when it comes to that, but we'll see. Anyway, to wrap it up, the final scene, dude. I love Beast. Oh dear. see it in Sabanur and then like the Dome City or whatever. What did you think about all this? Yeah, Mother of Scotty, obviously Rachel Summers.
I was cool to see. I don't think I was as surprised as I was with the Sabanor Apocalypse stuff, but because with the whole cables thing, they kind of been playing at the idea of it, especially with that whole send off that the psychic rapport session they had with Gene and Scott had with Nate when he was before they did their thing. I'm very excited though, very excited. I think so. You know how Gene and there's certain things that Kayla learned that it was always like it's kind of like history. It's like time repeats itself. Like they were always going to go to the future to race Nate in a certain way. I think that ties into the apocalypse thing. Now we were talking about apocalypse earlier. I feel like and we see that he's in the present day at the end. I feel like it's going to be like they're their own worst enemy type of thing, where it's going to be Magneto's going to he's going to come out of his little brain fog. I think he's not even completely mind wiped. He's going to start getting his memory back one by one, some sort of way. And he's going to come back to be old Magneto. And he's going to lay that seed in Magneto's head. Like, we're superior, bro. We dominate, fuck that. Why are we trying to coexist when we're the better? It's a fucked up way to think, but that's his ideology. Like, they're very similar in that aspect. Apocalypse is a little bit more cutthroat. But, I think he's going to be the one that is the catalyst for why Apocalypse is such an issue in the present. It's like the shit you put in his head, he's been ruminating on the shit for thousands of years because of this. You're your own worst enemy. That'd be kind of an interesting wrinkle, I think that, but I wouldn't mind that. I think that'd be fun.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, bro. Yeah, I don't know. I like this little bit here at Genosha. I like this the possibility of Gambit's resurrection. I love
coming back, bro.
I love the team split between the two timelines and where it's going to go though. It's incredible. I thought it was a great setup for next season. However they want to go with it.
He's holding Gambit's card and says his last line is death. There's no way, bro. Like that. This is the one thing I was geeked about. I was like Leo DiCaprio in fucking Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I was like, I called that. I called that. But they're not gonna kill Gambit. I'm very. There's some. It's like they could do like Age of Apocalypse, but not really do Age of Apocalypse with the next season. There's just so many interesting places to go, man. Like,
yeah, he's definitely gonna have a heavy part to play, though. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens.
Job well done, though.
Yeah, shout out X-Men 97. We're gonna have our boy Verno on here to kind of recap the whole season and talk about our favorite moments, our favorite episodes, our favorite characters, all that good stuff here in the next week or so. So y'all make sure you come back for that. But we'll get into it a little bit more in depth then. But yeah, I guess let's go ahead and get into our new comics. Oh. Sorry, guys.
Ooh, check out this comic book.
Ooh, are these new?
Oh, apologies. All right. Let's start with Beneath the Trees, number 6, the finale to this amazing series written and illustrated by Patrick Horvath. Came out of nowhere. I first kind of got onto it, I think, back on the Best Comics of the Month show, I think. I might have heard Nick talking about it first way back in the day, but I think, I think Nick might have put me on to number 1. And from there, man, after you read number 1, I think it was the same for you. Like once I put you on to number 1, you knew you don't really need much more help. You don't need much more giddy up after that. So this book has been incredible, man. To me, it's the book to beat for 2024. It's been such a delight. Love the like Horvath described, the Richard Scarry meets Dexter vibes of it. But most importantly, a lot of these limited series or these books get drawn out for an issue too long or an issue too short. This one felt exactly how long it needed to be, and it stuck the landing. Most importantly to me, so them sticking the landing was the most important part. Because the last two issues, things have kind of been up in the air. You really don't know how it's going to end per se. You kind of know where it's going in general, but the way he brought it all home, I thought was phenomenal. But yeah, man, Link, your general thoughts on this one, bro? I know this is a book like me that you wouldn't normally be checking for, but yeah, how's your journey been with this one?
It's been an absolute blast, man. A pleasure. I love when I'm like kind of taken surprised by a book where, I remember when you first recommended me this book, I was like, really, Stu? What is this shit I'm gonna read? This was my mindset going into issue 1. I hadn't heard you guys talk about it in the monthly comic book review show at Robbie's. So, it was really a blind read. But by the end of the issue, I was fucking hooked. I was like, oh shit, like I don't know. And you've touched on this before, but I always respect it a little bit more when it's written and drawn by the same person. Like you feel like that passion is put into it just a little bit more. Someone really had this idea and wanted to get it done, and they're like, "Yo, it's all on me. I'll write and draw this." And I respect that. And he just knocked it out the park. I don't know if this is his first time. I'm not familiar with the creator. Don't know if it's his first book. Don't know if it's his first time writing. I'm assuming his art is fantastic, so I'm pretty sure he's drawn some stuff before. But absolute blast, man. Just it's different, it just came out of nowhere. I respect that. This is like what comics. This is a good example of like comics just being, it could probably work as a movie or maybe an animated series, but the perfect example of why comics are a good medium for like certain types of ideas. And this issue it's been fantastic, just like the rest of them. We'll get into it, but
oh yeah, man.
I think you wrapped it up. You said it, but it's hard to nail and land endings sometimes, man. And I was a little worried, like, how are you gonna wrap this up? Because based off of the last issue, I was like, it's a lot to touch on in the last issue, but my man's did it. He did it effortlessly and beautifully. Yeah, with Samantha Strong, I hope we see more of her in the future.
Seems a badass. Some dope. We got an actual Richard Scarry Busy Town homage variant here.
I love that.
Yeah, these are retailer exclusives, unfortunately, guys. But if you feel so inclined, go search for it. But both of these are fire. I think I love both of these. You get the lavender there. Remember the lavender from earlier in the series? How he detected it was in the first place, the float and stuff. I just love that.
I'm probably too deep invested into it, but the cover on the right reminds me of Drake's little Kendrick Lamar, the medicine prescription bottle.
Oh yeah,
and like the TV and shit. Kind of gives. I know it's not that completely. I'm just connecting that on my own accord. Too deep into it, but I do love both the covers though.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, man, this has been a smash success for them. I know this is like, because you start to see it on articles about this thing on like Games Radar. I think I saw this like 2 weeks ago, talking about how the first 5 issues have sold over or almost 150K.
Wow.
It's really hard to get your hands on the early issues of this, because they're on 3rd, 4th reprints with some of these earlier issues, which is awesome. So it's got increased interest with each issue, which is something you don't normally see with books. So, hell yeah, dude, cute little fact here. Horvath got this title from. I got it queued up. Hold on. This teddy bear's pick.
Every teddy bear who's been good is sure of a treat today. There's lots of marvelous things to eat and wonderful games to play. Beneath the trees where nobody sees, they'll hide and seek as long as they please. That's the way the teddy bears have their picnic.
How wild is that? That's on some like Jeepers Creepers type energy. I love that.
Those old like 1900 songs all have like an eerie vibe to them, bro.
Absolutely. But yeah, that's where Horvath got the idea for the title. I thought that was dope. Shout
No,
out to
yeah.
shout out to our homie Bearded Comic Bro who got that out of Horvath in the interview. So shout out Greg, man.
No shit.
Yeah. Yeah, but here's just Horvath talking about, you know, how great IDW has been and the response from readers, critics, comic book shops. This book has been a smash hit, dude. And these are the type of wins we need to celebrate in the comic book community, and you know, with publishers like IDW, giving books like this a shot. So shout out to you know,
he did a great
those,
job. Shit.
yeah.
It seems like most readers' responses were like kind of like mine, like, "Oh shit, you know, what is this? This is really good." You know, I'm glad to see IDW. I'm sure they're not hurting, but you know, yeah, I'm glad to see them come out with a banger. You know, that shows
yeah.
they still do something, you know.
Absolutely. Because they like, I'm not saying they need one, but you know, besides the Turtles, they're looking at Skybound right now with the Transformers and everything they once had. Like, I know they're so I'm glad they're behind this one and they give it its
Absolutely.
You know, its full support and gusto. All right, so getting into our final issue here. You know, Sam has been not framed per se, I guess, slightly exposed by Nigel with the paint cans and the murder and all that stuff. So, you know, the town of Woodbrook or Woodridge, I forget which one it is. You know, is after her. You know, everybody's after her. Everybody, you know, thinks that she is the murderer she is, and meanwhile, Nigel's walking free, and that's where we kind of pick up here. On episode 6 with him just kind of burning all these pictures of now I'm assuming these are his own murders. I don't think these are Sam's.
Yeah.
But yeah, all sorts of gruesome pictures here. You know, animals cut open, crucified, all sorts of stuff. Dope artwork. I love the artwork has been consistently great from Horvath throughout, man.
Yeah.
It's maintained that feel, but also been like horrific at times. And I love the emotion he's able to bring out of these animals. It's something like we're going to talk about later that you see in the Sacrificers, but like sometimes these physiques and these faces, I don't know, like when it's anthropomorphic like that, it lends itself better to emotion, or it lends itself to emotion in ways that are more unique and cooler, I think, and more interesting than, you know, seeing a human face all the time. It's kind of cool seeing those human emotions on these animal faces and how that comes across. But yeah, so Nigel's out, like he's kind of cruising around. He's got his little murder kit here. He's got his loaded gun, right? He's picking his targets. He you know, he's following this little girl around the playground, and you know, then she's lost.
Yo, my bad.
Helps. No, you're good. Helps her get back to her dad.
This scene, bro. I think there's just a credit to my man just being in tune. Like he obviously had a story to tell. Like the scene is very creepy, you know, because we know what Patrick or what Patrick. I just forgot his name. Neville?
Nigel.
Yeah, Nigel. Nigel. We know that Nigel is a son of a bitch, you know?
Yeah.
We know that he's very cutthroat, very sociopathic. And it's just like him talking to the little girl, what it insinuates, you know? Like, and then he's doing the whole bang when he takes a picture type thing, you know? It's like we know as a reader, because we've been following the series, that how creepy that whole conversation is, even though it's brief. But it's like I wonder if like you're a reader and you pick this up for the first time, you're reading issue 6, would that come across as eerie, you know, and disturbing? Like, because we know he's plotting stuff out, like trying to find his next victim, and it's like, I'm not justifying it because killing nobody is no good, but it's like, you know, there's a level, you know, if you're going after just able-bodied adults, I might put you in a different category than someone who goes after everybody, like children included, you know. And the fact that it seemed like he was considering, like, I don't know, that's how it came off to me, like he was considering like kidnapping this girl, and I was like, wow, like that's it was disturbing, you know, and it's so crazy how bright and colorful the art is, but the scene is just so the dichotomy of that is throws me off.
Absolutely. You said I haven't read this yet, but would the story still work without the characters being animals? I don't know. I think maybe, but I think it's got to be this. I think this type of aesthetic, this children's book aesthetic, really lent itself to the story. I feel like those mashups, that mashup is kind of essential to the feeling and the ambiance. And like now that we're in it with these characters, like what we're going through is a very human type of scenario. You know what I mean? You could definitely see it played out in like a regular type of story. But I think to buy in and and for it to like have that pop and that horror tinge to it to where you want to come back and see what's going on, I think it's you gotta buy into the anthropomorphic, like children's Richard Scarry type of
makes it stand apart, you know.
Absolutely. Anyway, Nigel's walking around. Isn't it crazy, Samantha? Can you believe it? You know, and talking to townspeople, you know, he's telling him to say hi to your mom. You're such a sweet kid. You know, Nigel's really got them all fooled, right? Everybody's none the wiser. Him walking around town. Still, he's taking little pictures. I do like it how like every townsperson he has an interaction with like doesn't know his name. One person calls him Oliver. The other one can't even remember it, and you can tell he's slightly annoyed.
I forgot his name. Tell he's shit, you know, like
you can tell he's like slightly annoyed. He's getting more and more annoyed each time. I think it happens 2 or 3 times. Again, here in the grocery store.
You're on the list.
Yeah, absolutely. So he just feels like it's you know, open season, right? And he's got his little weirdo like sketchy apartment that he pays like cash rent for every month, that he develops these like little stalker pictures he's been taking, right? You know, he walks out and he's looking around, he thinks he's safe, right? Anyway, back in his mom's house, Sam finally shows up, right? And she's talking to his mom, and you know, Sam's like, oh, you know, she's like, Nigel's mom's like, oh, what are you doing here? She's like, they're after the wrong person. And she's like, see, I knew you didn't do it. It's Nigel. They want Nigel. He killed them all. And she's like, I guess I knew that too, right? So like, mom comes clean that she's known it's been her son the whole time, right? And Sam's like, you knew about that too for how long? Suspiciously, Sam's dressed for work, right? Sam's got the apron and the goggles on, right? Anyway, they have this conversation about like she knew about Sam. She knew Sam was different and Sam was a killer, right? And you know, all people have is their family or whatever. And you know, she's like, why don't you come with me to my house? And she's like, all right, so should we leave a note for Nigel? And she's like, nah. He's like, as soon as he sees my truck out front, he'll know what time it is. You know what I mean? And she's like, why are you dressed? Why you got goggles on, by the way, Sam? Right? And so that's really like the last time we hear her speaking the story. And I love this setup, right? This is like rookie versus pro right here. Nigel thinks he's sneaking into like Sam's house or whatever, and he's going to sneak in on Sam, and he has no idea. He thinks Sam's in there solo. You know, pulls the gun out. You should have stayed away when you had the chance. And like, who does he find but his mom, stabbed to death in the chair? So gnarly, bro. Right? And he's just shocked, right? He's mumbling, mo. As he's doing this, dude, Sam comes up behind him and freaking hits him in the neck with the needle, and you know it's over with now.
Pure
right?
Dexter move.
But right, pure Dexter move. A great call, bro. He hits the floor, and she on some pure Dexter shit. She starts to tell him what she injected him with. Oh yeah, I injected you with Cure Air. You can grow it if you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? It's blocking your neuromuscular transmissions, which is why you can't move anymore. Like on some real sinister. You know, I'm telling you how you're becoming incapacitated right now. I used to live botch lumber, whatever, but I like carrier better. You can grow the plant yourself. Never do it. I would say you really see Sam's expertise coming through.
This is a scene where I was like, oh, she just doesn't care, bro. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna rub it in. You know, I was like, you already got him down, but she's like, no, I'm gonna enjoy this real quick. You know, yeah, you just soiled yourself. You know, I'm sure you can feel it. You can probably smell it as well. But you know, that's what it is. This is what you get for fucking with me.
That's so great. Sort of embarrassing, but it's okay.
Yes.
You won't care about it for much longer. Like, it's so great. Oh, we got Sheena in the house. Sheena Station. Love this series so much. Isn't it great? It's so great. And the ending was so good. Love it. But yeah, so pretty soon Sheriff Patterson is going to be there. You know, and he's just like talking shit. You know, like, I'm going to blow you away. It's going to look like a murder suicide type of deal, and that's going to be that. We were about to contact the sheriff when you broke in, holding us at gunpoint. So she's already got her story worked out, you know. And it came together like it came together. The ending is so cold, like right here. You might think your mom and I go back, or you might, your mom and I go back 40 years, but she was just someone I knew, bro. And then she blows his head off, like, so cold-blooded. This is exactly what you wanted from her at the end, man. You know, your mother. You killed your mother, though, and she's just rubbing it in. And I've like the single tear falling from Nigel's cheek, like right here. Hold on. Like, you killed your mother, the only person in the world.
And she knew about you. She shared that with her, motherfucker.
How could you do that to her? Oh well. And then it's just like, man, bro. Homeboy is just paralyzed with the tear coming out of his eyes. Just so gangster, man. It was such a great ending. You could see like her, like, and she even mentions it in this conversation, or this, like, really, I guess this monologue to Nigel about like how she just doesn't feel, like her feelings aren't there, and her sociopathic nature. Like, we had seen hints of it before, but and like even when she killed, like, we hadn't seen it on full ruthless display as it was here, and like her really, like, she's just someone I knew. Like she knew his mom for 40 years, but she was just someone I knew. Like, she
developed that mask, bro. That, you know, that's where the crucial difference was between her and Nigel, was he didn't develop that mask. He still kind of like, she developed this persona as Public Sam that she knew she had rules to abide by, that, you know, she would not break, to not ever give away to her other life. Nigel was kind of like a little messy, you know. He hadn't developed that mask. He was starting to, but he was messing with the pro. And the ending was great, because I'm not gonna hold you up. I was like, how is she gonna get out of this, bro? There's no way that she's gonna be able to clear her name on some Dexter shit. She does.
Hell yeah.
That's why I hope we get to see more of this chick. She's badass.
Yeah, man. And like, everything kind of resets to normal in the town, you know. They found the killer. Everybody's back out and about again. People don't look afraid walking around.
I really like the
apologies and casseroles and the affection of the, you know, people are confiding in her again with their feet. You know, here we get I forget the character's name, but Homeboy's wife who got murdered.
The guy that worked at her store,
Sam's
store,
the paint shop. Yeah, he was the one that sent things over the end. Remember, like, didn't Nigel lure him down to the paint shop late at night, and then he got killed, and that was what sent things in a tizzy. But yeah.
She framed it for that. Yeah. I really like that one line where she said something like, the town, you know, it slowly went back to normal as it could. Like, you know, it was something about it. It was like a bad dream that you can't remember. Like, you know, it was kind of left you feeling iffy, but you can't remember the details. I like that little line, you know. It was very fitting. Very fitting.
So true. It really is. Yeah, so we got our conversation with the townspeople. We get an apology from the sheriff as well, right here. Saying I'm sorry. I thought you were guilty. And then the final panel is Sam talking about taking it easy for a little while, and this bear needs to hibernate. I think something like that.
Yeah.
Dude, like such a great ending to a great series, man.
Oh yeah.
Beneath the Trees, number 6. Y'all check that series out. I can't recommend it highly enough. It's been amazing.
Highlights, just all these highlights I've been looking forward to for the last couple months are wrapping up. That shit kind of sucks, bro. We got X-Men 97, now Beneath the Trees. I mean, I know it ended last week, but still, where's the filler? What am I gonna have to replace it? I'm hoping I'll find something.
It's always bittersweet, but we gotta celebrate it, move on. We don't want to like cry foul too much, because then they'll get us some like shitty spinoff or something. You know what I mean? I don't want Beneath the Trees 2 in like a month from now. Like, please don't do that.
Very true.
IDW, please don't last Ronin that thing. Just let it breathe. No. Let it be.
Right. That's a good example, bro. Man, that's a good analogy, because it's like it was really cool when you guys first started it, but now it's like, you guys are really
the last
trying to milk it.
Yeah, it's like a fucking Expendables franchise. It's like, what are we doing here? All right. Moving on with our new books. Let's go Boy Wonder, man. Number 1 by Juni Ba. We're talking about guys who are writing and illustrating their own books, man. This guy, a huge fan of this guy. He's from Senegal. He, has come up, came to my attention doing Monkey Meat, which was like a great little satirical take on hyper capitalism and the ridiculousness of I don't know, this ever-ending economic engine that we subject ourselves to. But I just love this guy's viewpoint. I love the stories he has to tell. I love his style, his artwork. He's amazing. He's unique. He's really just getting started. So it's so good to see him at DC doing a book of this stature with a Black Label book and doing his own Damian Wayne story. And I'm here for this. So y'all check out Monkey Meat from Image. Came out I think in 2021. Won some Eisners or was nominated for some, but yeah, dude, it was wild about a company that made its fortune selling cans of processed meat all around the world, and they use that to do all these crazy experiments, and it's just it's a wild tale. But he writes and illustrates that as well. That's how he first came under my purview, and that's an excellent book. I highly recommend that. I think it's 4 or 5 issues, 5 issues probably. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yo, quick question. Does Black Label, does that just mean like it takes place outside of continuity, or does that mean it's like more like Max? Yeah. Like Max used to be like
both. I would say it's both. Like it reserves the right to get dark and adult, but it's also out of continuity in its own story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because this one kind of, I'm glad you clarified that, just because I was kind of under the assumption, I don't know why. Maybe it's because the books I really checked out from Black Label were kind of more edgy and darker. But I was like, man, I was expecting it to be super. It's not childlike, but it's like it almost which I really loved and appreciated about it. It reminds me of like Darwin Cook's The New Frontier. It was inspired by that I could jive with. Like it's a nice balance of adult and like not too dark, but it's not kid. I liked it quite a bit.
Yeah, hell yeah. Vern said, I don't think I made it past the first issue of Monkey Meat. It was so out there. Fair enough, bro. Fair enough. It definitely is. I mean, it's wild. I just love his art. His art kept me in the game and kept me with skin in the game for it for sure. So, yeah, it's just be like their rated R line. Yeah, absolutely. Nice little Cliff Chang variant there. Cliff Chang, who did the amazing. You talk about great Black Label books. Catwoman, Lonely City is one of the best. is one of the
I'm
best
so-
Black Label books that's ever come out, dude. If
How
y'all have
many
not
how
read,
many issues?
it was 4 issues. They took forever to come out. It's collected in a hardcover. I have the hardcover. Get the hardcover. It's 20-30 bucks, dude. And that story is so goddamn good. It's like people call it like Catwoman's like what's it called? Dark Knight Returns. I mean, yes, it's like that, but it's like it's an older Catwoman. She's out of jail after being locked up for a decade, and she basically Bruce Wayne died in her arms during this event, like this Joker event, like where he and all the other villains teamed up, and Batman got killed, died in Catwoman's arms. Yeah, so she's got like all this guilt about Batman's death, and he gave her this like one last key to something that she's trying to figure out. And so it's her trying to basically, it's like her trying to put together a heist and get this one last clue from Bruce Wayne, figure out what he was talking about in his dying moments. And she gets like Killer Croc. She has like a sexual affair with the Riddler, but like Cliff Chang's story is so good. Sorry to get completely off track, but y'all check out Catwoman.
I'm gonna check that out.
Speaking of another guy who wrote and drew all of it, and it's like it all looks like this cover, dude. Like it is.
Okay.
The guy doesn't take a line off. It's incredible.
Have you ever
He wrote it.
I know
he wrote it. He lettered it. He colored it. He did every single thing in the book. It's incredible.
For the Catwoman? Okay.
For Catwoman Lonely City. We should talk about.
Have you ever read Paper Girls?
I haven't. Brian K. Vaughan and him. I haven't, man. My daughter was into that Prime, Amazon Prime series. They made a live action. Out of it.
Yeah. I'm a little mad about that. It wasn't groundbreaking, but I don't think it was warranted for just one. I think it deserved another season.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'll come back some sort of way.
Yeah, I got to read that though. I'm a huge Brian K. Vaughan fan. He's amazing. All right, so yeah, getting started here, guys. We got our our classism in Gotham, explored on the opening page right here as a champagne flute falls from a party way up in the penthouse in the high rise down, and I love how it's like they'll probably some poor sap will appreciate it down there.
Yeah.
Falls on this. It falls on this poor bastard who's like in the middle of his little criminal escapade with this hostage, right? And then I love like Robin's introduction here, like all shadows and just the stars. Just I love. Let me ask you in general, did you like Ginny's art, bro? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was because that's why I was thrown off initially, because I was like, is this supposed to be darker with Black Label, right? But it was it wasn't giving me those vibes right away. But once I saw what it was trying to do and what it's trying to be, like I said, I'm a big fan of Darwin Cook. I love the New Frontier and all the stuff he's done. I think that's easily one of the best books in the last 20 years, top 10, easily, maybe even top 5. But I got vibes of like Darwin Cook, that kind of like that art style where it seems lighthearted on the surface, but there's more to it. It's not going to be over the top or gratuitous. What's the word? Is it gratuitous?
Gratuitous.
Gratuitous thing. Just for the sake of it, But it when it needs to go there, it strikes a fine line. It gets its point across.
Oh yeah.
I was a little thrown off at the beginning, but once I understood it, and I was like, I really did enjoy the art. I was like, I got to check out more from this Juniba guy, because I've been hearing you guys talk about him, but I didn't know who the fuck he was or what he's done. But based off this, I definitely check out Monkey Meat. Though I'll go into it extra high based off Verno saying that there's a lot of shit.
Verno's like, I just remember being like, what the fuck did I just read? Fair enough, man. So yeah,
gotta be high.
Yeah, walk with caution. Like it could be like completely, you could just be like, all right, this is trash. So but yeah, I love how like this like through the narration we get this kind of like fairy tale narration about the 3 sons. One was resourceful and clever, and like how they're all described. It's dope between Red Hood, Nightwing, and Red Robin. Then one day, the king's long lost love brought him a son of his own blood, one who decidedly did not fit. Here we get Davian's introduction. Just love the art here with the the demon and all that. I love how he kind of shows the demon juxtaposed like on top of Damien. I think where is that art? Oh wait, hold on. I don't want to skip this. We'll get to it soon, but you can see it there with the red and the heads. But like later on, you see that image a lot. The pop up, that demon's head image, and supposedly throughout the book, this is something that Damien is trying to hunt. Right, he's after this demon, this unnamed entity / creature that he's trying to capture. He's trying to prove himself. So he's talking about first getting adopted into the Bat family. First night out on patrol, he runs down a thief and cuts his head off. Right, and he's talking about I love this shot of Batman's reaction, like, oh shit, you know what I mean? And he's talking about how I love that scene right there, him turning around, looking with pride, and realizing that he didn't do the right thing. How he could tell immediately that he didn't do the right thing by Batman's response to it. Here's what I was talking about with the demon, man. I love that artwork right there.
Yes,
this is like one of the first parts in the book where I was like, damn, this looks fantastic.
It kind of not per se, but it evokes kind of like Sienkiewicz vibes in terms of like when he played with like the mental landscape and New Mutants and stuff like that. For me personally, it's very childlike and like almost seems like it was drawn with a crayon almost,
Yeah, right. It does. It reminds me of Harold and the Purple Crayon a little bit.
Yes.
But I think that's what I love about it.
Where's that movie at? I'm sorry, that's such a random tangent.
I think they're making one, or they made one. They're making.
They made one. Okay.
If they haven't, it's gonna be coming out soon. I forget who's the star of it. I want to say it's homeboy that played Shazam. I could be wrong. I could be wrong about that though.
No, I think I've seen that trailer.
Yeah.
I don't think they're calling the boy with the purple crayon. I think that's why it might have thrown me off. I think it's got like, but I might have been high. That is often the case. I'm just being honest.
All right. Moving on. So here Damien watches everybody else go out and patrol. Some great visuals here by Junie. Some great artwork. I love this. Sad and lonely with the all the melancholy blues and the the starscape. Great shot here. Wanting to go out and prove himself. I love this here too. The dartboard with all the daggers and the blades in there, and with the picture of Bruce Wayne. He resolves to go out on patrol and by himself anyway. Gets dressed up. Of course, Alfred of course snitches on him. He hears him do so, but he still goes out on patrol anyway. He wants to stop. He wants to stop these demons and these creatures of the night himself. He goes to do so, but he gets immediately interrupted by the Bat family. This is one of the highlights of the book, dude. I love Dick and Barb's in this, dude. I love the married couple. I love these two right here. In the first fight scene, we see Barb's asking him if he remembered to get formula, and he's like, "Yep," and I remembered to pay the babysitter too, or whatever. And she's like, "You're the best." I just love that dynamic straight off the bat, and I love, like you said, this is a very childlike take on this. It's a childlike take on the story, and also on Damien. Like, Damien is a kid who's really never seen love expressed before. He's never seen somebody give somebody a hug or a kiss, like as we'll see later on in the story. And like when he sees that affection and physical love expressed, like it shocks him to his core. He doesn't really know how to deal with it. So I thought these two being such like a wholesome parental, both like dual figurehead for Damien was dope throughout the story.
Can I real quick? It was just very brief, but That's why I loved it, because it was like I feel like he encapsulated so much the years of Damien's history in like one issue, like in a brief summary, but in a very good way. Like, you know, this issue kind of touched on the rapport of Damien and Dick during Batman Morrison's Batman and Robin. You know how that really was the only person that could get through to Damien at one point, you know, or that Damien took a shine to. And they kind of established that in this issue, where it's like Damien's like, he respects Dick. You know, he's a little frustrated by him, but he, you know, he respects Dick. And I feel like beyond Alfred, Dick was the first person that he respected Dick before he did Bruce. You know, like he just wanted to outdo Bruce initially. He grew to respect him, but he's always kind of had them up. Like he fucked Tim Drake up, even though Tim Drake is the best Robin. He fucked him up first meeting. You know, he didn't give two shits about him. Called Jason Todd a joke, but he always had a modicum of respect for Dick, and they show that in this comic, which I respected. Even, you know,
yeah. Absolutely. Great point, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love how handy Nightwing is with the what do you call that staff thing he's got? There's some official cool name for it.
They're not called batons, but
no, it's something cooler than that. That way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, some great action between the three of them together as a team. You know, and then they work to take out this giant demon, or Damien goes at it solo. And I love this, like, you know, he swings himself on top of it and brings the post down, or the big metal pole or whatever, and it goes splat, and they're like, splat, you know, and they're like, that's not the sound it's supposed to make, right? And then of course Nightwing puts it together. Eskrima. Thank you, Chet.
Ask Chet.
Somebody reads comic books up in here, Chet. Chet, have you been reading comic books? Chet, let me find out you've been taking them books out the slab and read them, bro.
Right. I was gonna say he's taking them out the slab, bro. For that type of information, my man is pulling them out the slab.
Round of applause, Chet. You get a Jolly Rancher later, bro.
I was impressed by that, Chet. I'll be honest.
We love you, Chet. Thank you, bro. Hell yeah. It's Clayface. Clayface looks so great. I love the stars in the eyes kind of deal. So it's like so animation worthy. This is like an Adult Swim Clayface or something, you know? Like, I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so it's really, I would say Damien kind of has a part to play in this, but he really just kind of gets, it looks like it's more than he can handle, right? He's struggling to get himself together. He kind of bumps into Nightwing. You know, I can't handle myself. Nightwing's just checking on him. He's like, you know, I would say that you could, but you know, Robin doesn't have a high opinion of Dick at the beginning of this encounter.
Yes,
he thinks he abandoned Batman. He abandoned the cause, the mission, and was selfish in like his reasons to do so. Anyway, so they're like, Robin, chill, leave him to us. Love that. And then we get like a little background lesson on the Flying Graysons and, you know, how Dick came to be. Dude, I love this bit by Junie Ba, this year one homage right here. So great, man.
Oh shit.
That was so I thought that was such a great little touch.
The masterful, because I recognized that was iconic, but I did not, for whatever reason, not connect that to year one immediately. Like I love that. That's a great homage.
Yeah, dude. Shout out to Junie Ba. It's the little things like that really make comics fucking awesome.
Quick question. Do you know how many issues this is gonna be?
I don't, man. That's a good question. Hold on.
Because all right, I was gonna say, if it's kind of cool, because I didn't peep it until now. You're saying it with the Dick Grayson panel, but if it's called Boy Wonder, right? Yeah, Damien could be the central focus, but it could. If next issue it seems like he's gonna be teaming up, spoilers, with Jason Todd. It'd be dope if like every issue he was teaming up with like a Robin before him, and they touched on his history like they do with Dick. You know, like it's like going down the history of the Boy Wonders in a sense, while having the central focus on Damien. It's kind of cool. I didn't peep that until now.
Yeah, so it looks like we got 3 issues.
Oh
3 issues
shit.
on League of Comic Book. Yeah. Red Robin. Looks like Red Robin's on the cover for number 3. So
Okay, yep. So Dick,
hell
Jason, and
yeah.
Tim. All right.
That'd be dope.
I'm looking forward to this.
Hell yeah. Chet says he's a Nightwing guy down to the 9.8 newsy for his appearance. Hell yeah, bro. Great character,
Not
man. Dick
surprised.
Grayson rules. I love Dick.
True. Yeah.
Hell yeah, but I love this also love this tandem shot here. Batman, just so clean. Looks fantastic.
This gave me some cool, like, this is what I was saying where it gave me like Darwin Cook vibes, where it's
Darwin
like
Cook, Chris Sam
I-
Nee, like
yeah, Sam, yo, oh, thank you. I was like, there was some other artist that I was like, I know does retro work, but I could not put my finger on it. Chris Samney, bro, yes,
yeah.
Jesus, that was bothering me. Thank you. That was money. That was a good one.
Oh yeah. But yeah. Anyway, so this is a kind of explaining what I was talking about earlier with Damian's beef with Dick Grayson. That Gotham needs a Batman, Batman needs a Robin, and abandoning the cause and his leader to go out on your own. The Prince's grandfather, talking about Ra's al Ghul, had one word for that: weakness. And then you see that demon. There's that demon, like I was talking about, that demon head image. But yeah, I love Damian's look right here, man. Like I said, it's like very Teen Titans Go-ish. Like, you know what I mean? I just love I love like how this feels like straight out of like we were saying earlier, Adult Swim animation. Anyway, yeah, like we finish up with this comparison with the Flying Graysons and then Dick and Babs fighting together, and how the narration is saying that Damian has never seen anybody fight like this, with the trust that these two have between each other, and like the love and care they take, when they, fight together. So like this couple has already clearly had a major impact on him and shown him things he's never seen before. But then, yeah, using, as Chet just told us, thank you, Chet, and Nightwing's Eskrima, I think Eskrima sticks. Like he sticks it in Clayface, and then these sonic type of disruptor waves or whatever go out and kind of melt, I guess, Clayface down to a good old puddle because of Batman. Because Batman. What else do you need? But yeah, this is the scene I was talking about right here. This, I love Damien, the look on Damien right there, seeing these two like just share a kiss after the battle. Like that's something he hadn't seen at all between anybody. And this affects him. Like he doesn't know how to handle it. And Nightwing turns around to congratulate him. He's like, "Hey, you want to help us take him to Arkham?" And he's gone. He's gone on his own, right? And so I love this. Damian, he's pissed off, right? And they could have ended the issue. He could have ended the issue, I think, right there, right? But I love this like little extra he put on it. Damian's pissed off, overshadowed by a show off. He jumps. He's like, blocks away or whatever. No Damon in sight, and he's stuck. He feels like his old way of, like you said, is solving problems. Was like something his father would disapprove of, and like he doesn't know which way is it, the old way or is it the new way. Do I need to think about reinventing like how I approach things, right? As he's sitting there contemplating being stuck, right, he hears this old woman getting robbed, and goes to help her, right? And this was like my favorite part of the book right here. He's beating up the bad guy. He's hung him by a rope there with a Batman sign around him for the cops to pick him up, like old school, like, right? And then he has this memory. This woman's lying on the ground. He has this memory of Dick helping him up, and asking him if he's okay. And like he blows, you can see the steam coming out of his nose. Like he doesn't want to do this.
I don't want to do.
He's begrudgingly, but he's like, "All right, fuck it, I'm gonna help you. Like, are you okay, ma'am?" And then she's like, thank you so much. She's squeezing his cheek. We're so lucky to have you around. And like, he doesn't know what to do at first. And she leaves and he's like, yes.
Right? Get it. Yeah.
But this is my favorite part, like this, dude. Nightwing's up on the rooftop behind him watching. Like, I just love that little panel. I thought this was so great. So well done. Such a wonderful, like, little end cap to the story and showing you like what a child and what, like, how green Damien really is, even though he's a ruthless killer and trained in the ways of the demon. He's a little boy in so many aspects. And
Yeah,
I thought this book
very
did a great
impressionable.
job of showing that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That this is the scene I thought that kind of, like I said, it was brief, but it kind of encapsulated overall Damien Dick's relationship, where it's like Damien is kind of like, you don't know what you're talking about. You're just too happy, bro. You don't take this serious enough. But then he's always peeping Dick and like taking notes from Dick. Maybe I'll try it this way. Dick's way does seem to work. So I thought that was very cool and brief. That was like a nice way to sum up their overall relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Like an immediate lesson learned type of deal. Like it
Yes.
felt like it was so cool.
Yep.
But hell yeah. So after this, he gets this wild ass vision, right? He sees the ghost of the dude, the first thief that he beheaded on patrol with Batman. He's like, what the fuck is going on there? Right. And then this lady that he just helped gets snatched by this giant creature of the night, this demon, like bird, I guess, type of at first it looks like just like a giant hand coming down, but then you realize it's I guess it's talons from this bird, right? And it snatches this lady and takes her away, and we realize, like, he's got something bigger going on right here. I don't know if this is connected to Ra's al Ghul or anything like that, but it definitely feels wild, right? But the issue ends with him talking about he needs somebody who knows the territory, and he needs somebody who's a hunter, and he's going to call on his buddy Red Hood. Dude, we're going to get Red Hood next. So I like how it's going to gradually, I guess, like Link was talking about, bring in like other members of the Bat family. But I can't wait to see after his interaction with Nightwing in this issue, how it goes with Red Hood. And, like, I feel like he's gonna get a lesson from each one, you know what I mean? Or each one is going to give him, impart to him, valuable advice that he's going to take moving forward, and incorporate all three at the end in some cool kind of way. But very like on first read, this story like didn't really do it for me necessarily, but going back through it a second time and making these slides and really breaking down and these panels and enjoying the artwork, man, I really enjoyed this one a second trip through, and just enjoyed the story for its kind of naivete with Damien and its simplicity. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And the artwork is great.
Yep. I same way, bro. I feel the same way. I didn't really know what to expect once I just kind of was like, oh, okay, I took it for what it is. Like, it's a story focused on primarily Damien, but it's touching on the Robin legacy in ways. It is very Damien centric, but it does touch upon the Robin mythos in a cool way. And it's just, like you said, it's the naivety of it. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's just, it almost kind of reminds me of like a X-Men Grand Design, in a sense, where it's not necessarily touching upon, but like it was more like a Wikipedia with Grand Design, a lovely Wikipedia, but it's just it's the bullet points in a cool way, like distilling their history in a cool way.
Oh yeah.
So I dug. And like you said,
I'm glad you dug it. I was worried this one. I knew like the other two books we covered tonight you were going to be a fan of, but I was worried this one. But I'm glad you enjoy it. Hell yeah, bro. All right, moving on. Yeah, go ahead.
Why going up? I'm just running to the bathroom real quick.
All right, go ahead. All right. Sacrificers number 8, guys. Speaking about one of my favorite writers in the game, Rick Remender, and another one of my favorite series of 2024 is this one right here. This story kind of about these gods and these mortals supposedly, and the sacrifices that these mortals have to make to keep the status quo, but really exposing the truth behind the lie there, and the wizard behind the curtain, that they're basically farming or harvesting happiness and joy out of these young people from these impoverished backgrounds, and kind of turning that into a potion, a liqueur of sorts, which kind of gives them everlasting youth and prolonged life, shall we say. And this has been going on for thousands of years. I guess not thousands of years, but hundreds of years, it would seem like. And, it's this real insidious process, right? It's real nasty. And the sacrifices these children that, each town is giving up each year meet these horrible ends where they get loved for, they get cared for, nurtured for really the first time in their lives. And then these gods kind of wait until that emotion and that sense of happiness and joy is at its peak, at its most fullest, then they put them down in these what are basically like barber's chairs with a needle, stick it in the back of their head, and kind of just pull that that joy and happiness up out of them and leave them like soulless dead husks. I mean, it's just really, it's wild when we got that revelation. So from there, we've gotten the story here. Our issue here, issue number 8, really follows Pigeon, who was initially one of the was meant to be a sacrificer, was a child who was selected from a town to be sacrificed and killed. He ended up, kind of realizing what the truth was about his situation, knowing something was wrong. Escaping from his situation through a drain tunnel. And in doing so, he ended up in the lair of the guy who had created this process to begin with, the sacrificial process of kind of like draining the happiness and joy out of these people. And in that lair, he got, he found himself under this pipe where he got basically some magic god juice sprinkled on his back, and now he's got omniscient level, not I wouldn't say he's necessarily like god level powers, but like he's like on some, he's like super soldier. I'd say it's super soldier level, right? Like Captain, like it feels like a Captain America equivalent, right? So this issue number 8, we had our reveal about what the sacrifice really is and what's really going on quite a few issues ago, and this issue really here is following Pigeon on his journey of redemption, right? And where finding his place in the world, and really deciding how he wants to move forward morally, where he wants to side with, what he's okay with being a part of, and or being a party to anymore, and what he's not okay with anymore. But yeah, bro, I just overall thoughts on this issue, man. Did you enjoy this look at Pigeon? I like last issue with Saluna getting kind of haunted and hunted down by that like mysterious dark symbiote type of thing, but this one was I thought a lot better of look at the character for me. This one was I enjoyed this one a lot more.
I might have to reread this issue. I feel like I liked the last issue just a little bit more, just because I'm kind of more involved with the Luna's character. Just because this dude, he kind of knew, he got the shit short end of the stick from birth, so he's kind of always expected shit, so now he's kind of getting some power and he's fighting back. If anything, he's more empowered than he's ever been in his life. The Luna chick, she's had the rug pulled from under her feet and just been tossed in the deep end without knowing how to swim. So it's like every time she gets into some shit, like I feel like should have been dead like 3 different times now. She keeps surviving. So I'm a little bit more invested seeing her going through the trenches. Where him, it's like, my man's got the super soldier serum, the god's blood thrown through his veins, and he's like, I want to go back home and show my family that never cared about me that I'm worth the damn now, and he's win. I mean, I guess that hits a different emotional note, but I'm more invested with her plight than his, where it's just like, motherfucker, why you got the super soldier serum? He does. He, in a sense, he's gonna get on this point of starting a rebellion or bringing them God some heat, but it's just like, first thing you do, the world's going to shit, you run back to your family that treated you like a fucking expendable your whole life? Nah, son, nah. I'd rather stick with. I want to see the character growth of Luna. See how she becomes a better person because of she's been living the high life for all this time. And it's like, oh shit, I've been, complicit in terrible acts. Now I know how it feels to be part of the people I've been, putting down for all these years. Like, so I was a little bit more invested with the stories going with her, but I think you made a good point that this was more introspective and gave you more of an insight into like the inner workings of him, where his mind is at right now. They didn't really it was kind of last issue was kind of like event after, not really event, but just like one shit situation for her into the next. There really was no insights to how she felt about any of the things that had transpired. But this one, I guess that is that I didn't look at it that way. But this one is way more insightful into how this dude's feeling at this point. What's the turmoil he's going through, the roadblock he's at, where it's like shit. Like he does kind of recognize at the beginning of the issue where it's like, I got these superpowers, but it's like I got unsolved business. I shouldn't be doing this, but I got to go back home. I got to, bro. And then I'll go to do what I need to do, when he shouldn't have gone back home to begin with, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
But yeah. Right. But no, it was a fine issue. Remender, I'm biased when it comes to him. A man's always serves quality on the platter. Another fine issue.
You worried about I mean, we're done. I think at least for Fiumara's off at issue 10. I think we're done at 10. Yeah, so we got 2 left. You think think we're going to be able to land the story here in 2 issues time?
Let
me double check that.
Tricky thing about
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I feel like it might come back, but the tricky thing about Remender is he always likes, like, sometimes he just likes to leave things as like a one-off. He'll set it up for like we could come back, because he kind of did that with not so heavily, but I was gonna say I feel like with Tokyo Ghost I've always done another chapter in some sort of sense, but here we are like 7-8 years later, nothing in sight. Remender kind of, he doesn't want to. He's the guy. He's got that punk attitude where it's like, if it's on fire and it's buzzing, I don't want to do another series of it. That means it's good. I should end it now when people are really invested in it instead of trying to milk. He doesn't like to milk his shit, I respect that.
Yeah, it's done.
But
it's done. I think it's done at 10.
I think he can do it because I've seen him do it. I remember. So you ever read 7 to Eternity with Opina? Yep. Okay. I felt like he kind of like did this similar and with that series where it's like, how are you gonna tie all this up so quickly? But Remender, in Remender I trust. I believe I think we're gonna be wanting more, of course, but I think he'll be able to put a nice angle on this.
Oh yeah. We got Brother Joe in the house, Brother Joe Station. You're never late, bro. Thank you for coming through. We love you. Hope you're
better late than never, my man.
Oh yeah. He says, I'm worried about Pigeon. Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. Yeah, he's a little like he keeps oscillating from like, oh, I'm meek and I need the approval of my people to I'm gonna do my own thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's kind of
you know what? And I think that's why I wasn't really so invested in him this issue, because last issue I was kind of pissed off at him where it was like, bro, you should be more understanding if anything, but now you get a little taste of power. Like he said, he's kind of corrupted by like, fuck you, like the right thing would do, like, help this girl. She's in your position now, bro. You know how it feels to be when you feel like the whole world's shitting on you. You're just like, I don't give 2 shits what happens to you. I'm out. It's like, what? Like, you might not be shit if it was that easy. You get a little taste of power and you're like, oh, I'm the shit now, No. That doesn't sit right with me.
We got Taki in the place to be. Talk, what up, bro? Patient. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for coming through. Yeah, Dan Panosian on cover B, 1 in 10 variant. I think that's pretty fire, though. I do. I like it as well. Yeah. All right. So yeah, as we say, our boy's on a pilgrimage back to his hometown. He's trying to see what's left after all these obviously storms because of Luna going missing. All these awful giant, as we saw in that one episode, I think it was last issue, the giant wave have ravaged these towns, so trying to go see what's left, right? He gets a ride with the wagon man. He drops him off. Like you were saying, Link, here, desperate to see if his family misses him, the people who gave him away to die. It's like, this guy is a glutton for punishment, right? And part of me thinks like he did all this to kind of like by the end of the issue to goad these people into the position they're in so he can do what he does and then move on. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. He kind of
his retribution.
Yeah, he goes to try to find his town, his family, and like, there's nothing left. Right. All he's able to find an emotional moment is his sister's teddy bear. Again, I said it 1,000 times, and this is what I was talking about earlier with anthropomorphic characters, dude. The emotion he's able to bring out of a pigeon's eyes and his face, the way he's been able to do it throughout this entire series has been incredible to me. You felt
and it doesn't look
so much sorrow and so much of this guy's sorrow and pain throughout all these panels. No, it doesn't. It never looks overdone or like it always looks either understated or just right, man. But it's like I felt like shout out to Fiumara. That's been like one of my besides like the design on some of these gods. I think like the sun god, the look of the sun god, the look of the water god with the how he's got that seashell type of cloak type of deal and his head's like water almost. Like I just loved like his design on the characters, but besides that, the emotion on some of these faces of Noom and dude, I still think about the look on Noom's face before that sacrificial needle came down into the back of her head, dude. Like that, her eyes watering. Ugh, it's brutal. So shout out to Fiumara. He's done an absolutely incredible job every issue of this book. Yeah, dude. Anyway, so Pigeon has nothing really left over from his family. He's making his way, and he comes across Noomstown. Noomstown worships Aquaticus, the water god. We saw them before calling Aquaticus to defend them, and he went out there thinking Luna that was playing games, and then that's when the issue when we saw that 700-foot tall wave crashing down. I think that was on Noomstown. So Noomstown's obviously devastated. This was one of my favorite pages in the issue. I just love these little scenes of tragedy on the right and left side, the right and left panels. And then like the main composition right there with Pigeon kind of walking through. And then he's immediately assaulted, right? Of course, he's blamed for all of this. You did this. You're a sacrificer. You're not supposed to come back. It's your lack of faith that's doomed us. Somebody literally tells him that it's your lack of faith that's doomed us. Like bro's on the run. They're throwing rotten food at him. This poor fucker. So he finally finds one of the high priestesses or whatever advisor to the king. He's asking to speak for the king. To get an audience with the king. He's like, the king is not here. He's left here for higher ground for safety, right? And he kind of shakes this dude. This was kind of like, this was the part where I feel like he suckered him into it because he's like, almost helpless as he's getting shaken. I guess he's just tired from the walk and overwhelmed emotionally, but he kind of gets shaken and thrown to the ground as if he was nothing. And he's like, get this apostate inside, And the next scene we see him at dinner. This scene was so disrespectful to me, right? He's got Pigeon at dinner. What does he serve my man for dinner, bro? I hope tonight's menu is your liking. He serves some this was so cold. Right here, at this moment right here, Pigeon was like, all right, I'm cutting your fucking head off later.
It was at this moment.
Yeah, right? Bro serves him some bird, right? Yeah, enjoy. Cold-blooded, man. Cold-blooded. Anyway, I love this like shot with Pigeon eating he's eating the parsley or the greens around it. He's not eating the bird. Right. And so this guy thinks he knows what happened, right? He's dead set that that Pigeon's a blasphemer, that everything he's telling him about what happened, that it's not like you said it was. You told Noom that you lied to her about what it was. and this guy's not trying to hear it. He's got in his mind that things went bad because of his lack of faith, and that he needs to make that right. And it was horrible. It wasn't anything like you said it was. And then this guy's like, I don't care what it was like. So he gets in his face. He really pours the guilt on. It really feels like Pigeon's legit feeling bad for his situation, like that he wasn't loyal or faithful enough, right? So it's like it's time for you to fulfill your sacrifice. Yeah, I love that. Those two panels right there again with the eyes, man. Sheesh. And so here we go. We got the sacrificial scene. Homeboy's getting all his armor on. He's getting his axe, right? Special helmet, all that good shit. He calls on Aquaticus, opens up the portal to his realm. We call on you to, for your sacrifice or whatever. He goes to bring the axe down on Pigeon's head. And Pigeon's like, nope. Hold up. And he starts talking about, that Noom gave her life for this city. I'm sick and tired of being told what my responsibility is to die for a collective that never did anything for me. And basically at first he's just trying to walk away, but bro gets in his face, keeps pushing him. And it's not for you to question the gods, boy. It is for you to serve them, right?
You don't learn.
And so in that moment, he takes the axe and chops his head off, bro. Great scene right there by Fiumara. Right?
You know what? I gotta applaud you, Stu. There's been some interconnectivity between these books when it was like the creator before Beneath the Trees to Robin, and then we get some headlopping with Robin to Sacrificers. They're all connected like that.
Absolutely.
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, baby.
I totally meant to do all that too, bro. So thank you for pointing that out. Yeah. But yeah, so we got our headless high priest there. The portal's still open, and then Pigeon's like, he told him to go serve his gods, and he's like, well, then I guess that's what I'm gonna go serve these motherfuckers. I got you.
I'm gonna serve them up.
He's taking off. Look at I love the cover for issue 9 with him all decked out in his battle gear. Looks great.
Oh hell yeah!
And then we get a beautiful Felipe Andrade cover B. Look how gorgeous that is.
Oh, Felipe Andrade.
Yeah,
I gotta go with that one, bro.
I know, right? They both. I can't decide. They both look so good.
They are badass. The cover A reminds me of some shit Namor needs to have.
Right?
Namor, you need something like that, my man. But like some water armor with axe. I can see Namor wielding the axe. But I love Felipe Andrade, bro.
Oh yeah. So
They're
Sacrifice is number 8. I'll check it out.
So it's 10 issues for sure.
10 issues. We got 2 more. Yep. All right. Real quick. Lynk and I promised ourselves we would get through the final 3 issues of 2015's All New Captain America. We apologize. We meant to just do this over 2 weeks, but everything got stretched out. And I don't know. We've been taking on more new books, but yeah. Hell yeah. So this is wrapping up the plot to kind of the Hydra plot to sterilize all non-believers, right? Through this inhuman kid's blood. His blood makes people sterile, weirdly enough, right? And they're going to synthesize it and try to drop it over the population and, make all non-believers sterile. That plot gets interrupted. They're still trying to set off these bombs and make it happen, but we pick up in issue 4 with Sam stopping one of these sites, which is being guarded by Armadillo. I love the back and forth with the fight with him and Armadillo. By the way, Stuart Eminem killing it on this artwork, dude.
Bro, man, I'm glad you said it. Like, I always respected Stuart Eminem, but it's like one of those situations where you don't know what you got till it's gone, type of shit.
That's
where it's
so
like,
true.
You know who I really enjoy? Yeah, no, he doesn't do that. It pisses me off. He doesn't even do covers. It feels like he's completely out of the game, which sucks. But RB Silva gives me a lot of Stuart and Monin vibes.
I can see that.
I fuck with that. He's like a blend of like Imonen and more Imonen than I was gonna say Pepe Larraz, but I feel like he kind of picked up some things from Pepe during the Hawks Pox. Kind of like David Marquez. If you go back and David Marquez always kind of, I'm going on a random tangent real quick, but David Marquez always astounds me because when he first came on the Ultimate Spider-Man, he was like trying to emulate Sarah Bacelli so heavily that you almost didn't know he was a fill-in artist. And it's like now my man is a distinguished artist. You know, he's got his own look and stuff. So it's I like stuff like that. You know.
Damn, he said he retired. Damn, dude, that sucks. He's so good.
What?
He did Next Wave with Warren Ellis too. You remember Next Wave? Oh yeah.
That's so slept on, bro. Man, maybe it's because it's an Ellis idea, but I'm so shocked that they have not in what's been like 16 years now. So it wrapped up 2007, 2008.
Yeah,
like,
it's funny because like I remember when I was really trying to put a bunch of reading lists together about like Marvel comics and early 2000s and what books to read, and I went to Marvel Unlimited and I was looking at a bunch of creators, like they have creators reading lists on there, like creators will go through and pick their favorite Marvel books from the past. And like I think on Zdarsky's, on Kelly Thompson's, on like at least 2, if not more, like 3 to 4 writers, they all had Next Wave by Warren Ellis. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, like so many writers had chosen that for their unlimited, like their unlimited reading recommendation list. I thought that was so. That's what first put me onto that book and how I discovered it.
That I'm not gonna hold you up. Like it's like sometimes when I reflect on it, because that was coming out when I first got out of high school, bro. Like around like it started a little before Civil War, but I just remember like it being like, even when it tied into Civil War, like everything was tied into Civil War at that time. Like, you know, that was the biggest push I've seen. Like they made sure every series that was coming out was tying the Civil War some sort of way. But Next Wave did it in such a unique, creative way where it was almost still like its own beast. Like that's what I'm saying. It was such a great idea. Like I'm so shocked they've never done anything beyond those 12 issues. Like it's a cool team. It's a cool concept. Like what was his name? The captain? I always thought he was badass, bro. You know, he kind of reminded me of what's the dude from Authority? Or not Authority, but what something Black?
You know what I'm Manchester Black.
Yes, he reminded me of that a little bit. You know, mix it with like the Super Soldier Serum. I always thought that was cool.
It was great. There was was it Machine Man in that? Or
yes,
there was so many. There were so many great. I love that cast.
He had the best lines, Machine Man.
He really did. Yeah, we got to do that one day. Anyway, so Cap gets to one of these sites, just to kind of skip ahead through 3. And Zemo's waiting for him, right? And Zemo's kind of already put this bomb in motion, where it's exploded and it's, you know, it's in all the, I think they put it in insects or mosquitoes, right? And like all these mosquitoes are gonna descend upon a population and infect the human population and make them sterile. So what does Sam do in like a ultra like omega level powered moment? He calls on like all the birds nearby to come and eat like every last one of these bugs that has gone off from this bomb. So like all these birds show up, you know, and take out like Zemo's plan. Pretty cool moment there. Then of course we get some Nomad in action. Just great art there by Ramon, and like we were saying earlier. Yeah, dude. So you know, we find out that Taskmaster has double crossed Baron Zemo, and you know,
go figure.
He deferred to the highest bidder, right? So they were able to get some locations off him and kind of stop the plan. But they also have a backup. Hydra has a backup, which is Baron Blood, the Nazi vampire, is gonna suck this kid's blood, and he's gonna blow himself up in the upper stratosphere and like his blood. So they're gonna find another way to rain sterilization down upon all of us. this way with Baron Blood. I just love the usage of Baron Blood. It's so kitschy
Right?
and like he looks great. Like look at the guy. He's over there on the right there in the middle. Got
He actually looks
giant bat
badass.
ears. And I love this scene with there's Batrock. Great Batrock.
Batrock.
Great Batrock art there. Hell yeah.
Yo, let me say this real quick while it's on my mind, bro. This is a perfect example of synchronicity where, mind you, this was coming out around the time Winter Soldier was coming in, and Batroc had that cool little fight scene with Cap at the beginning, so it was tying into that. Just maybe 2 months apart. Yeah, bro. Even with the Inhuman shit, they were obviously Marvel mandated Inhumans be a big thing at that time, and Remender somehow found a way to make the Inhumans a focus, but not so much a focus. Like the Inhumans are the problem of this book because the kid's blood, but it's like it's connected to Inhumans, but the focus isn't on Inhumans, you know? Like, and that was a big mandate at the time. A lot of books got lost in the sauce trying to be an Inhumans book because that was a mandate of Marvel when that's not something they wanted to write. Maybe it's just the gift of Remender because he's such a master and a pro that he was able to find that fine balance. But it's like, this was better than it had any right to be. You know, this was coming out around the time where Marvel was really starting to play it safe, I guess you could say, you know, and kind of do things that a lot of fans weren't agreeing with. And Remender found a way to make the shit that fans did not enjoy palpable, you know, like, okay, I'll take it, you know, it's the good old days, you know, the good old days.
Yeah.
We don't see that shit now.
He made Sam Wilson's like bird power is cool, you know. I feel like that's
right.
Oh,
when you say, bro, when you read that line to someone, the scene where Sam Wilson called down all these birds and they attacked all these mosquitoes that had this virus in it. It sounds corny.
It does.
But the
it
way
sounds corny when I'm explaining it, but when you're reading it, you're like, oh, this is cool as shit.
Yep.
Like, because he's like straining and he's pulling all these birds, like, you know, and it's like, and like that's the thing is like, man, when I was rereading this and like talking about this plot line, the storyline, like the sterilization of their plans, it sounds so damn ridiculous.
Yeah, it's goofy.
But at the same time, it's like it works, man. When you read it, it really does. Yeah. But I love this scene here. This is one of my favorite scenes in the story. Red Wing essentially gets eaten by Baron Blood, right? They're in Paris. He's trying to track down Baron Blood. He's got Red Wing kind of flying over him. Baron Blood senses that, right? And grabs him. And like, I love this, like, I love these 3 panels from Eminem, right? Red Wing, no, right? Like, and then we got like a bloody Baron Blood face at the end of issue 5. It's just great. Just a great scene. One of my favorites in the run. But here we got Baron issue 6, kind of Baron Blood and Cap fighting in the sky. Cap's able to get the upper hand on Baron Blood after a back and forth and essentially freeze him in the upper atmosphere. And you know, kind of take care of the problem that way.
Quick question: who's Remender that established the relationship between Misty and Sam, right? In this, okay,
I think so. Yeah, man, they definitely got super close here. Like it definitely. I felt like he did so much work with Sam that people haven't. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, there they are kissing right there on the top left. Yeah, so definitely like a romantic thing here. Yeah, and then you get your story wrap up and everything like that. You know, the final issue is basically Sam and Baron Blood's fight in the atmosphere, in which he's able to freeze him. But yeah, a really solid story. Just a great end to the Cap run, kind of handing the reins over to Sam and doing so with this wild. It felt like a Captain America story, though. You know what I mean? Hydra with this wild. Hydra. This plot felt like every bit like it came out in 1957 or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it felt appropriate for the Captain America universe.
That's why I love Remender, bro. Because I was gonna say this, because when Robbie said that this felt like some Jack Kirby, like his initial run with Steve felt like Jack Kirby esque type of stories. I was like, I could see that. Like it's the plots sound goofy, but Remender does it in such a cool, grounded way that you're there for the ride. Like if you explain to someone, it's kind of like you. I don't know if this was ever with you, like with the Matrix, but I remember when someone tried to describe in the Matrix to me when it first came out, I was like, "What the fuck are you talking?" And like I was a kid, but in my head, I was like, "What are you talking about? That makes no." They're in the real world, but when they go to the real world, it's a really computer. I didn't know. I had to see it to understand for it to jive, you know, and this is kind of like that. Like it sounds goofy,
Yeah.
but when you see it laid out, it plays out so well.
It's like, see, there's this disease, but it's in all these bugs, right? And all these bugs get released, but then this guy, he calls on the birds to eat the bugs.
Yeah, like seagulls, everything. You're right. But it's dope. It's done so dope.
Dude. Y'all check it out, man. And check
Oh,
out
real
out
quick, I wanted
Captain America.
I want to shout out there. This
hold
is
on. Let me blow you up. Hold on.
Okay. Okay, this is technically the wrap up to Remender's cap run. It's not essential. Like you could just leave off at the Sam Wilson stuff, but he had been working with the Ian character. You know, I personally think like he had plans to set Ian up as Captain America in the long run. I kind of got like vibes of like Damian and Dick, how something was going to happen. It was insinuating Morrison's run essentially that if something was going to happen to Dick and Damian was going to have to become Batman because of that. I felt like that was the vibes that Remender was going with, like Ian and Sam. But he got, you know, as we know, Remender left Marvel short notice. But the last book he did was Rage of Ultron, which was a trade paperback. But the last single, it came out around this time that Secret Wars was coming out, actually. But the last single issues he did was this 4-issue miniseries called Hell Hydra. No, like I said, not essential, but if you have been following the Caps run, if you enjoy Ian as a character, it kind of gives you his final tell where he ends up like on this Hydra dominated world and shit, and like odds are really stacked against him. But my man's comes out on top. It leaves off ambiguous. He gets on the Infinity elevator, I think it was called. You remember that elevator? And he kind of it ends with him. Because it kind of ends with like Secret Wars ending with like Battle World is being destroyed, but he's on the Infinity World elevator and he kind of like breaks through like the ceiling. It kind of implies that he's made it to like main Marvel continuity. But you know, it was a Remender character and no one's ever picked it up since then, to my knowledge. But yeah, it was fun. Cool art. You know, Roland Bashi, Remender worked with him before, and Back in Blood. It was like his wrap up to his Punisher run. But yeah, it was definitely worth checking out if you were investing in the cap.
Yeah, and that said, yeah, like I said earlier, make sure you check out the Dimension Z run with John Romita Jr. He's doing some killer work on that. We covered that a couple episodes ago. But yeah, man, that's the end of Rick's time at Marvel. Obviously, one of our favorite writers still to this day. I know that was how Lynk and I one of our first early connections was Rick. So yeah, it's no surprise that we're still covering current books of his as long as books from the past. We're going to get into Frankencastle, his Immortal Punisher story soon enough. That's on the horizon. So y'all stay tuned for that. But real quick before we get out of here, I want to plug two things and then we'll say our goodbyes. Tomorrow night, our boy Verno is having trivia night. He's celebrating the 1-year anniversary of Blood Splatter Chatter, starting 8 p.m. Eastern. Y'all make sure you come through. I'm going to be there for a bit. I know my boy Link is going to be there with me. Our boy Robbie is going to be there hanging out. Man, Verno's such a great friend of mine. It's just an honor and a pleasure to be hanging out, helping this dude celebrate 1 year. That's incredible. Shout out to our bro Verno. Yeah, man, I can't wait to hang out with the fellas. He's put me onto so many great horror since I met him and been a guest on those shows, so I can't wait to be there and celebrate with my vote. And then later on tomorrow night, 9:00 p.m. Eastern. I'm just a little bit nervous for this. Me, Nick, and E will be talking to Mark Russell about Traveling to Mars. His book that a couple of months ago. Yeah, man. Super nervous, super excited for this one. We've all put in a bunch of hard work, got a bunch of great questions.
You're gonna kill it, bro.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no, I can tell, like the way you, because I still haven't checked out Traveling to Mars yet, but the way you've been talking to me about it, bro, and your insight on it, I can tell like it's gonna be a good conversation. There's gonna be some
such a great book.
good-
I can't. Yeah, this guy's one of my favorite writers. I can't wait to sit down and chop it up with him. Nick's done a great job, kind of taking this thing, taking this ball and running with it, and organizing everything. So shout out to our bro Nick. Check us out 9:00 Eastern on Comic Culture. Yeah, dude. I gotta talk to you in the back chat. I need a good X Factor question from you, bro. I gotta find something juicy to ask him about X Factor. But yeah, anything you want to say to the people before we get out of here tonight, bro?
You guys are the best. Thanks for hanging with us. Maybe I just paying attention more, but it seems like we had a nice little crowd tonight. People
We went
tuning
2 hours.
in.
We still got seven folks in the chat. We appreciate y'all. That's great.
You guys are the best, better than us. You know, we put on this show for you guys. You know, it is for us. Don't get it twisted, but at this point, it's for you guys. You guys still tuning in with us? We love you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody who came through tonight. Showed love. We appreciate y'all coming through every week. Honestly, if you're catching us on the rewind, that's great. We appreciate y'all watching, but please come through and try to check us on the live chat. A chat's one of the best parts about the show, and one of the things I really enjoy doing it for. Speaking with all you guys, seeing you guys every week. This is just the highlight. So y'all come through and kick it with us if you are able to. Wednesday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. To those of you watching on the rewatch, though, thank you. Keep doing so if that's what you got to do. We appreciate y'all. Hope you're enjoying the show. With that, we will say station. I'm going to leave with the intro once again. So nice we had to do it thrice, and then we're getting out of here. Station, y'all.